If you're a fan of survival horror, there's a good chance that you've played, or at least heard of, a little demo by the name of PT. Originally released for the PlayStation 4 on August 12, 2014, PT was Kojima's interactive teaser for the then upcoming Silent Hills game. While it wasn't a direct look at what the game would look like, and rather a way to showcase what horror games could look like using Kojima's Fox engine, the teaser was met with critical acclaim, fans excited to see what twisted horrors translated from Kojima's mind and onto their screens. Unfortunately for the horror community, disagreements between Kojima and Konami, as well as the company's interests shifting toward mobile gaming, Silent Hills was cancelled, and along with it, our dreams of a new installment, produced by Kojima, were buried. Kojima would later go on to continue his work, to release Death Stranding, and its sequel, Death Stranding 2. But still, fans couldn't shake their want for a full release of the cancelled concept, and even if all they wanted to do was go back and relive the appetizer that was PT, the game's cancellation prompted Konami to pull the demo from the PlayStation Store and made it impossible to re-download the game if you were to delete it from your console. You can find remakes on PC, but that's about as close as you can get to Silent Hills, though the memory lives on in other games. Even Kojima's Death Stranding, the director's cut, includes an Easter egg to his long-lost project. But to say that this wasn't good enough is an understatement, and a few brave independent game studios set out to right Konami's wrongs by teasing and promising to carry the torch that Kojima would unknowingly pass on. Allison Road was an unreleased first-person survival horror video game, heavily inspired by PT, and this was actually supposed to be the teaser's spiritual successor. The game was to take place in a haunted townhouse in the United Kingdom and feature a male protagonist who attempts to solve the mystery behind his missing family over the course of 5 nights. The game was initially a Kickstarter-backed project. With just over a week left on the Kickstarter, only £146,000 of their £250,000 goal was pledged. Lilith gained backing and support by publisher Team 17 later on, and so it seemed like the PT successor was a sure thing. The Kickstarter was closed, and the team began production. Unfortunately, the end result would not be the one for which the fans had hoped. A little over a year after the game was announced, Lilith would go on to cancel it via a Twitter post. After a long consideration between Team 17 and ourselves, we have reached a mutual agreement to end our collaboration on publishing Allison Road under Team 17's games label. Sometimes things pan out differently than expected, as game development and publishing have so many layers of complexity. We'd like to especially thank everyone for their support throughout. It has and will always be appreciated. Even after the cancellation, there were talks of a revival project, with the developer, Chris Kessler, telling IGN that he was excited to continue working on Allison Road by himself, not really revealing to fans why production halted in the first place, or why he left Lilith to start Far From Home. He even went on to re-release the prototype footage on a newly renamed YouTube channel, Far From Home, though the original handle still appeared as Lilith Ltd, which does give credibility to the fact that this was Kessler. Unfortunately, the PT curse would strike again, with this project being cancelled a second time, and this time indefinitely. Oddly enough, you can still visit the Allison Road website, though I'm not sure how legit this actually is, given that there is prominent 2025 phrasing littered across the site, and the FAQs, even though we haven't heard anything regarding a potential third attempt at releasing the title. But if Lilith, and then Far From Home, were throwing in the towel, surely there had to be another team of devs that would pick up the pieces, or at least try to, right? On November 30th, 2023, IGN would upload the official release trailer for Supernormal, dubbing it the Allison Road spiritual successor, which is kind of funny to me to name your game the spiritual successor to a spiritual successor of the game you're trying to actually succeed? I think that's right. The description even mentions that the game has received official support from the original creator of Allison Road, Chris Kessler. And as you might imagine, this trailer, while garnering excitement by some, was also met with criticism and hesitation. The spiritual successor to the spiritual successor, PT. Hopefully, this one actually releases. PT was scary because it was subtle. This just copies the atmosphere, then evacuates it with overused horror cliches. though the initial successor to PT never got an official release date, with the closest information at the time being that the game would release in the third quarter of 2016. Supernormal actually gave us a specific date, January 8th, 2024. And while most expected this project to be abandoned, like PT, like Allison Road, it actually released to mostly positive reviews from what you'll find on Steam, but as many predicted, this just wasn't the PT successor for which we were all hoping. Surely, at this point, someone could break the PT curse and give the fans what was so unjustly taken from them, or at least something close. Well, I don't know why people are complaining, because even though Allison Road got cancelled, we ended up getting Visage, which, if you guys haven't played, it is not only the scariest indie horror game ever created, but it's the closest to being a spiritual successor to PT you will ever get. Visage pretty much did what Allison Road would have done, and did it better. On June 22nd, 2017, Sad Square Studios would release their official gameplay trailer for their surreal psychological horror project titled Visage. The trailer was met with incredible support, with commenters claiming that this could potentially change the face of indie horror. Still, like Allison Road, like Supernormal, Visage couldn't shake the comparisons to PT, nor could they afford to release a game within this specific subgenre that wouldn't live up to everyone's expectations that the still ever-present PT fans were hoping to see. Konami lost a huge chance with PT. I am so looking forward to this. So yes, I still see the Silent Hill vibes, and I'm so excited to see the other environments too. And this trailer is what lets me know this is going to definitely stand on its own. I can't wait until this comes out. It looks great. Honestly, I'm happy that PT sparked this new wave of horror games, but still, I would have loved a AAA horror title made by Kojima. Fucking Konami. And the Team Square Studio definitely could not afford to let this game fade into the darkness, never to be seen by the light of day. I'm really tired of these nice PT-esque games being announced and getting cancelled in the long run. Hopefully this one actually makes it. It was up to them to break the curse and finish what Kojima started. And with their Kickstarter being funded in an incredible 12 days, that's exactly what they would go on to do on October 30th, 2020. Sad Square Studios did what Konami, Lilith Ltd, and Far From Home couldn't. This scrappy team of 5 took the seemingly undying love and hunger for a true PT full release and made it happen, dropping their official release gameplay trailer and the game itself on Halloween of 2020 to both the disbelief and the praise from the psychological horror community. The game saw releases on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Steam with very positive reviews, and a decade-long curse was finally put to rest. I don't think we'll ever know just what PT or the full release of Silent Hills would have looked like, nor will we get to see how Allison Road was supposed to pick up the pieces and deliver on what was one of the most anticipated horror entries of that decade. Still, it seems that Visage has been able to give us the closest PT experience that we may ever get the privilege of playing, all thanks to a team that saw the desire and the disappointment within the community and went to bat for us. They did such an amazing job that while the initial desire was for a true PT, everyone was now anxious to see what the team would create next. Unfortunately, it seems that Visage will, for the time being, remain their first and only game. You can rest now, Sad Square. You deserve it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to stick around. I'd love to have you. And if you're a longtime viewer, I hope you enjoyed this new little format. That's all for this video. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one.